I'm Dave McHugh for D3report.com, and this is my D3 report from the campus of Stevenson University in Owings Mills, Maryland, the site of a MAC battle between the Lebanon Valley Dutchmen and the Stevenson Mustangs, which came right down to the end, despite the fact that Lebanon Valley on multiple occasions had chances of putting this game away. They led the game early at 7-0, but on their second drive had the chance to make it 14-0, but turned it over on downs, and in a matter of a couple plays, Stevenson would march down the field thanks to a 52-yard pass play to Jay DeShields, playing in his first game of the season, coming off of a broken ankle, and then a 20-yard run by Anthony Reed, the quarterback. He would make it 7-7. Second quarter, though, Delaware Valley would tack on 10 points thanks to a Brian Murphy touchdown run and then a field goal by Faculty, making it 17-7 at halftime. Halftime is where things changed. Stevenson would change their quarterback. They would go to John Gasparovic, who would come in and settle things down, it would seem, and would end up out-throwing Anthony Reed. Gasparovic, 13 of 17 with one interception, 190 yards and 2 touchdowns, with Anthony Reed was 6 for 15 with 98 yards, and that long to 52 to Jay DeShields. Gasparovic would move the team down the field, also thanks in part to KK Smith, who once again had a 100-yard game, his 4th of the season, only MAC player to do that so far. He would also get a touchdown in the third quarter to bring this to within a 4-point ball game, but they would miss the extra point. Delaware Valley then would respond, and thanks to an Evan Fink 2-yard touchdown, which ended a 8-play 42-yard drive, they would go up 11. Stevenson seemed to have that fight in them, and they would come down to start the fourth quarter. Play action fake after KK Smith had run 4 or 5 straight plays. They hit Bragg, the fullback, coming out of the backfield for the touchdown pass, and would get the 2-point conversion to make it a 3-point ball game. But then Stevenson would make a mistake deep in their own end. Gasparovic would try and throw a screen to KK Smith. It would be intercepted by Lebanon Valley's Zach Halprin, who would run it in from the defensive end position, 9 yards for the touchdown, and Delaware Valley was up 10 and seemingly in control. Late in the game, trying to run the clock out, Stevenson would call a couple timely timeouts and would get the ball back after a 3rd and 8 would end up, or a 4th and 8 I should say, would end up being a sack. So Stevenson would get the ball, and what will be Stevenson's play of the year until something far better can beat it. Gasparovic was able to hit his tight end over the middle, who originally tried to then pass it off on a hook and lateral to Anthony Smith, but the play was botched. Tight end seems to be going down the ground. He ends up flipping it to KK Smith, who picks up the ball and runs 60 yards downfield, outrunning the entire Lebanon Valley defense to score what ended up being a 76-yard touchdown and cutting the deficit to just 3 with about 30 seconds left in the ballgame. Stevenson would try the onside kick. Unfortunately, they would touch it at 8 yards down the field before eventually recovering it, and so they would turn it over to Lebanon Valley. For Lebanon Valley, Pete Panici would finish with 105 yards on 20 carries, but no touchdowns. Tanner Link would also have 58 yards. Brian Murphy had 55 of his own. Evan Fink, though, would have 2 touchdowns on 38 yards of carries. Brian Murphy played pretty much most of the game at quarterback. We never even saw a kite come in. He would go 5 for 10 with an interception and 64 yards. Receivers Nate Myers had 25 yards and 2 catches. Really not much of a throwing game for Lebanon Valley. For Stevenson, again, KK Smith, 108 yards on 1 touchdown. His long was 20. Anthony Reed had 25 yards, I should say, and a touchdown as well. Passing, Gasparovic, as we mentioned, was the leader there. Jeremy Miller had 6 catches for 96 yards in the receiving game. Travis Douglas, 4 for 31, and Jay DeShields, 2 catches for 57 yards. These two teams will move on, with Lebanon Valley now 3-1 overall and 2-1 in MAC play. Stevenson is 0-4 now, and will go to Misericordia looking for their first victory next week. I'm Dave McHugh for D3report.com, and I hope to see this D3 report on D3report.com.